Good morning, students. So, today we are going to see chapter number 14, When the Earth Shook. A bad dream. Help, help. Save me. Ah, oh. There was screaming and shouting everywhere. The ground was shaking and people were running all around. There was a bad dream, and one girl saw a bad dream, and in the dreams, she saw that everyone was screaming and shouting, and everyone was running here and there. Why they were running? Because the ground was shaking. Screaming loudly, I got up. On hearing me, my mother also woke up. While when she was asleep, she screamed loudly and she got up. On hearing that, her mother also woke up. She came running and held me tight. Her mother came running and held her tightly. It was the same bad dream. It has been more than 6 years now since the earthquake, but in my sleep I still feel the earth shaking and trembling. She said to her mother that, Mother, it was the same dream again. Since it has been 6 years from the earthquake, but still in my sleep I feel that the earth is still moving and shaking and trembling. I am Jasma. I live in the Kutch area of Gujarat. I was 11 years old when there was an earthquake. There was a girl called Jasma. She lives in Kutch area of Gujarat, and when the earthquake came, she was just 11 years old. It was 26 January 2001. Everyone from the village, children and old people, had gathered in the ground of the school to watch the parade on TV. It was the day when 26 January was there in the year 2001. She was telling everyone from the village, in the village which she lived, everyone from the village, children and every old people, everyone gathered in the ground to watch the parade on TV. Suddenly the ground was shaking. What happened? Suddenly the ground was shaken. People were scared and started running here and there. Everyone got scared and they were started running here and there because they were not be able to know that what is going there. No one knew what was happening and what to do. There was total panic. Everyone got scared. Everyone got scared and no one had idea that what to do. Everyone got panicked. In a few minutes, our village was flat on the ground. After few seconds, after few minutes, the village was flat on the ground. Means every buildings and every houses were destroyed. All our things, clothes, pots, grains and food were trapped under the stones, mud and wood from the fallen houses. She was saying that every belongings of our houses like clothes, pots, grains and food, everything was trapped under the stones, mud and wood from the fallen houses. The houses which has been fallen, it was trapped under the stones, mud and wood. Every belongings were trapped. At that time, everyone thought of two things: to save the people who were trapped and to treat the injured. At that time, everyone was thinking just two things, that we have to save the people as soon as possible, and next, if we are saving someone, so we have to treat them also because they were injured. So there were two things on the mind: one, to save the people who were trapped under the fallen houses, and next is to treat the injured persons. The village hospital was also damaged. There was a destroy in the hospital also. The hospital also collapsed. Many people were seriously injured. There were many people who were got injured. It was very bad. My leg also got fractured. Jasma said, my leg also got fractured. The doctor treated people with the help of the villagers. So, as you all know, hospital also got damaged. So doctor took the help of the village people and treated the people. 6 people of our village died. Jasma told that 6 people in the village they were died. My grandfather Nana was also buried under the house. Her grandfather, he was also got trapped in the house. Her mother wept all the time. Her mother was very sad. Seeing my mother, I also cried. Her mother was crying. So, by seeing that, Jasma also cried a lot. The entire village was sad and disturbed. Everyone got very sad and everyone was very disturbed. House of Mota Bapu, who is the sarpanch of our village, was not much damaged. Now Jasma is saying that his house of Mota Bapu's, who is the sarpanch of the village, who is the sarpanch of her village, his house was not so damaged. He gave rice and wheat to everyone from his godown. What he did? He provided rice and wheat to everyone, to villagers from his godown. For many days, the village woman cooked food together at Mota Bapu's house and fed everyone. For many days, they did? Every woman together cooked the food and they ate everyone and ate together. Imagine being without a house in the cold winter. Fear and the cold kept us awake in the nights. All the time we were worried that there may be another earthquake. You cannot imagine that being without a house in the cold winter. It is very difficult to stay without house in the cold winter. Everyone was scared, everyone was feared, and in the cold they were awake every night and they were thinking and they were worried about it that there may be another earthquake also. Help arrives. For some days after that, people from the cities kept coming to see what had happened. For some days after the incident happened, after some days, people from the cities, the people who were living in the cities, kept coming to see what actually had happened in the village. They came with the food, medicines, and clothes. Everyone came with the food, medicines, and clothes. Everyone used to rush to take these things. The villagers rushed each other to take these things. The clothes that we got were very different. We had never owned such clothes. As you all know, the people who lives in villages and the people who lives in cities and towns wear different kinds of clothes. So the clothes were gone from the cities, so it was very different for the villagers people. They said that we have never worn such clothes before. People from different groups from the city help us to put up the tents. People from different groups was arriving. Some may bring food, medicines and clothes. Some groups brings tents. They help to put up the tents. Staying in these plastic tents in the cold winter months was very difficult. They all says that staying in a plastic tent is very difficult to stay because as you all know it's a time of a cold, so it is very difficult for us to stay in that tents. Some of these people were scientists. Some were scientists. They tried to find out which areas have more chances of having an earthquake. They came to the villages and they were trying to find out that which area have more effect of the earthquake and may affect the earthquake. People from our village talked to them many times. The people who were living in the village talked to them many times. They had suggestion about building our houses again. They gave them a suggestion to rebuild the houses again. Engineers and architects showed us some special designs for houses. The engineers and architects arrived in the village and they shown the special designs for their houses. They said that with this design houses would not get damaged. Engineers and architects were telling them that with these designs You- Houses would not get so much damage in an earthquake. When the earthquake arrives, the house will not get so much damage. But our people were a little afraid. But the people from the villages were little afraid. They thought if these people build our houses, our village will not look like our old village. The villagers were thinking that if an engineer and architect rebuild our houses, then our village will not look like our old village. So the villagers thought they would build their own houses with their help. So lastly, the villagers decided to rebuild their house with their own. The groups would build the village school also. Then the group who came from the cities, they told that they will rebuild the school also. They all work together to rebuild our villages. Everyone from the villages as well and from the cities, the groups which has been arrived, everyone worked together to rebuild the buildings. Some people dug and brought the clay from the pond. Some people were doing digging and they brought the clay from the pond. We mixed the clay with cow dung and made large cakes. Then what they did? They mixed the clay and cow dung and made large cakes of that. We put these on one another to make the walls. After that, what they did? By using a cow dung and clay, they made a large walls. After the walls, what they did? They whitewashed the walls and decorated them with beautiful designs and small pieces of mirrors. Lastly, they whitewashed the walls. When the walls got whitewashed, they decorated with the beautiful small pieces of mirrors. We put up the thatched roof. They made the roof with the help of leaves. Now our house shines like a diamond in the dark night. Now after rebuild the houses, they say that our house shines like a diamond in the dark night. Now read this TV report on the Bhuj earthquake. Ahmedabad, January 26, 2001. At least 1,000 people are feared dead in the earthquake that struck Gujarat this morning. It was the time of January 26, 2001. Thousands of people were feared because of the dead in the earthquake. The people who dead in the earthquake and who got stuck in the buildings, everyone got scared. Many thousands have been injured. Many people were injured in that. Army jawans, soldiers have been called to help. At least 150 buildings have fallen in the city of Ahmedabad. In these, there are a dozen multi-storied buildings. 150, more than 150 buildings were collapsed in the Ahmedabad city. It was a multi-storied building. It was an apartment. By this evening, around 250 bodies have been removed from these buildings. By that time, in the evening, they recovered 250 bodies from the collapsed building. It is feared that several thousand people may still be trapped. But it was some doubt that still some persons were trapped in the collapsed building. Rescue efforts are on. Rescue was going on. There is perhaps no building in the city which has not developed crack. There were no buildings in the city who got no cracks in the building. Okay, the situation in Bhuj is even worse. The worst condition was happened in Bhuj also. People are running around in shock and panic. Every people got scared and they were running here and there. Some people were shocked that what is going to happen now. Within an hour of the earthquake, the fire engines had reached and start work along with the local people. After the earthquake, within an hour, the fire engines had arrived. Okay, the local peoples arrived to help each other. Offers to help are coming from all corners of the country and abroad. Then many help have been provided to them. some help from the abroad, some help from the other countries as well.